Check 1 to the 2 to the 3, 4, my people, my neighbors, Mr. Al Pete from the mighty MPN Network. Round 2 of the series, the Krate Doc. So I interviewed Krate last week, and this week I have the director, Dominic Lawson. So we're going to bring him on. He's the one that put this beautiful film together, beautiful documentary that we're all going to witness on Thursday, August 13th, 2026. So stick around, grab your drinks, food, popcorn, all that stuff. We are about to start right now. Neighbors, groovers. What's up? It's Mr. Al Pete from the mighty MPN Network. Round 2 of the series, the direct, indirect series that I had. Remember I told y'all I had some dope brothers. I interviewed one of them last week, and then this week, well, this one right now, we have another dope brother. My man Dominic Lawson. He's out here slaying all of the streets, all of the content streets, the podcasting streets, but now he's in the film streets doing what he does, man. And the evolution of simply of him evolving from like the audio part to the film part has been tremendously inspiring, let alone him being just a great close brother comrade on here. So we're here to talk with him because he's the director of the documentary that we was talking about on the last show, the Krate Doc. So we're going to bring him on and have this conversation. All right. So without further ado, my man Dom in the house. What's up, brother?
What's up? Man, I can't call it, man. Thank you so much for having me and being part of this platform, man. I really appreciate it.
Man, come on, man. You already know you got ownership in this on this platform. Like, hey, funny joke, y'all. When we was at we was in Columbus, and it was the day before we was all leaving. It was, it was one of those moments for me. The whole goodbyes and stuff like that, especially when you around some great people, it could be kind of like sometimes, but it was that whole like Stand By Me type situation. If you see the movie, you already know what I'm talking about. But like in the midst of it, he let us know that he didn't have a UCG shirt. And I was like, if we don't get this man a shirt right now, he gonna sue us like crazy.
Man, listen. I felt like what they call it, the redheaded stepchild or something, man. No, UCG shirt.
We ain't gonna say that because that you see all the awards back there. That boy got awards. He got silver. No, that's silver spoons, gold spoons. He got all the awards back there. Just a round of applause. I said that man. The least that man can have is a shirt. Yeah, the shirt, the chain, ownership, all of that.
Listen, but little did we know I did have a shirt. I just didn't have possession of it. So
we told you need to camp out by the mailbox.
I do. I clearly do.
Oh man. Well, listen, I appreciate you, brother. It's all gratitude over here. Gratitude, thankful action. So just from a comrade, from a brother, I just appreciate I appreciate our brotherhood, our friendship, and just just letting me, like I told the crew earlier, which I'm talking about the Ummah Creative Group. I told them earlier, I was like, man, I just appreciate y'all allowing me to be the person that I'm evolving into. So, but speaking on evolution, we are here for the Krate Doc. The Krate Doc, Dom has once again put together this masterpiece of work that you're about to see. So let's dive into it, man. What was the inspiration behind it? Like what was the thing that led you first to start it? Like the starting point. And I want to say after we had the meetings, what was the first thing you was like, all right, I gotta do this?
I mean, if I'm being honest, Pete, honestly, I think the impetus honestly starts way back from, what was it, 2023, 2024, when I heard Tables Might Wobble. Mm-hmm. And hearing the stories of DJs and this craft and this industry, I was fascinated by it, right? Like I was one never to um, aspire to be a DJ and stuff like that, but I am inspired by things where people think that things are one way on the surface, but when you dive into it, you understand there's way more to it than what you're seeing. And I think that's what initially drew me um, to do this, honestly, unbeknownst to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have heard for years about you and Krate and sharing stories and sharing uh good stories, war stories, bad stories, good stories, stories in between, fucked up stories, not so fucked up stories. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, you know, let me see if I can visualize this myself or see if I can, see what they're actually talking about. Cause I was fascinated. And I would always, and you know this, Pete, I would always have questions over the years like, hey, what about this? If a DJ says this, what does that mean? Or, when we have a DJ at our family reunion, what are some things I can do to like not piss him off?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Stuff like that. Right. And so I think I was just fascinated from that. And then the opportunity just kind of presented itself once I started, evolving into film. And then Krate had this thing he wanted to do with you and collaborate, and invited us all. And when he invited us all, I was like, well, listen, this may be an opportunity to do this. And so we all went to Columbus for the Flow State event, and I, just took advantage of that entire weekend. And here we are, a few days away from the Krate Doc debuting.
Gotcha, man. Um, cool. So with that, it's almost like you kind of answered the question I had. Like, why did you
My
feel like the
bad.
story? No, you good. No worries, no worries. No, that means that you know how to answer questions. So, I wanted to ask why did you feel like the story needed to be told? I mean, and you mentioned like the war stories and the goods and the bads of the DJing, and then my inspiration of it. But from a film perspective, like,
Mm-hmm.
was it a thing where it was like you just want to bring it to life? Like, what was that part about it?
I think I would like to think that I have a healthy love and respect for the craft, even if I don't engage in it from a topical standpoint, right? Maybe it's just strictly from a consumer standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear these stories and listen to these stories and then apply them to, out in the world, like I said, at a family reunion or at a wedding or at a birthday party. And I'm just curious, like, I wonder if, like, where's all their gear? Like, how long is it going to take them to break all this stuff down? Stuff like that, right? And I think it was just a way for me to show other people to respect people and what they do. You know what I mean? And,
Mm-hmm.
and I think sometimes it's one thing to say, hey, this is like this is like that, but it's another way to show them, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so, listen, I have always been one who's been fascinated with, like, I think in acting, they call it method acting or whatever, where you kind of immerse yourself in a role and stuff like that. So that's kind of what this was, right? Where obviously you're not going to put me behind a DJ table. You're not going to like what's going to come out the other side. But what I can do is try to give a POV of what that's like through the lens of a camera, right? Which is why in the doc, you'll see me, have close ups of the turntable. You'll see me have, a shot from behind, not just Krate, but you as well. So that way you can get an idea. Like, I want to see what Krate sees. I want to see what Pete sees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, trying to give that perspective and that POV of what it's like to engage in this life, this craft, this industry at the closest micro way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And honestly, I think those are the type of stories that fascinate me. And what better way to dive into a story like that than with the Krate Doc, somebody who's been doing this for, admittedly himself almost 30 years, to see what he sees, to get an idea of what he has experienced and stuff like that. Because, like I said, it's one thing to have a sit down podcast interview with him. It's a whole nother thing to go on that journey with him and allow people to go along for that ride.
Gotcha.
I am curious about this though. I want to make sure that I'm right about something. Because this is, I don't know if people understand it. This is technically an MPN film, right? And so I want to know, is this the first MPN film?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hot dog. I love it. Listen. I told y'all trying to get the chain, man. I'm trying to get the MPN chain.
Man, listen, we gonna give you listen, I'm working on the chain. I gotta work so I can pay people to not work and all that stuff. But you But yeah, this is the first, man. I mean, and you know what? Like, as our promotion gang has been going and this process, and I'm gonna ask you this because, and this is a good kind of segue, I guess. I asked Krate the same question, but it was like, during this process, what did you learn about? What did you learn about Krate? But I want to focus on you first. Like, what did you learn about yourself while doing this process? So, and I'll say that because you keep saying MPN tables might wobble, and like I think the other day it just kind of dawned on me, like, hey man, they ain't playing with you. Like, it was all jokes. Like, we was all joking on Clubhouse and on our meetings and everything. It was like this hostile takeover or whatever, but like it was beautifully done. And I'm telling you, like a couple of days ago, I was just like, yo, they like. I gotta include MPN in this, you know what I'm saying? I'm just madly thankful. I don't even know that's a word, but I'm just super thankful for that. So, I've learned a lot of this short period of time that we've done stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm interested to know, like, what is there anything that you've learned going through this particular process?
I think what this process and what this film challenged me on was, I think certain perceptions of the craft and the industry, right? It's one of those things where, I would think like, oh, well, if they're DJing, then, they get a free meal or they get a whatever. And some of that is true, but it's not always true across the board, right? Because again, when you watch the film, it really was interesting to see the different events that we went to, right? And it honestly felt like 5 different experiences. So it just goes to show that like no one experience in a DJ's journey is the same. And I don't even mean like from Pete to Krate. I mean like, Krate in the morning to Krate in the evening time, right? Like what we did at the Cure was not necessarily what happened at Devonshire, what wasn't necessarily happened at the Picnic, which wasn't necessarily happened at the Columbus Arts Festival, right? And I guess that's kind of a spoiler, but it is what it is. I think the experience will speak for itself. But I think it's just one of those things where it's like each DJ gig is not just a gig. There's always some variable that's different than the next. Now, true enough, like even if, you do a whole bunch of weddings and stuff like that, like after a while you get into a rhythm, like you kind of know what to expect for the most part.
Right.
But I think in this film, I think it just challenged certain notions that like, while these are different venues, it's not the same experience. And it was actually interesting to kind of see and experience that, to have to, I mean, even just the thinking on your feet, right? Like at at one venue, maybe the outlets and electrical outlets are very easily to find. But when you get to the school, I think we had to like wrap some around the building just for Krate to get, some electrical power to everything, to his fan and everything else. And that was another thing, right, that we kind of give into the film about how he kind of takes care of himself, in this craft and in this journey. So I think it was just another learning experience for me. And that's another thing when I create these things. Honestly, I'm learning for myself and I'm just inviting people for the ride. Like maybe you was interested in this too a lot of times. So I think that is one of the things that kind of I learned about the craft and the industry and that kind of challenged my own kind of perceptions, I guess.
Gotcha.
If that answers the question. I hope I answered the question.
No, that answered the question. It's actually answered two of my questions, so that's great. Like it answered the question about what you learned about yourself, and then learned about what you learned about Krate. And I think that's a great perspective that you mentioned. Like, I mean, I'm a DJ to my people that that are watching this and know, but like I don't be thinking about that stuff, honestly. Like, I mean, you just know how to be prepared for it, and then when you in those situations, you just work it. Like, you're not thinking about the fact that when you get to a location, the power could be, around the building, but you just make sure you got like 2 or 3 extension cords to make sure that you're straight. You're gonna be outside. It's June. It's hot, so you make sure you got your fan. You make sure that you the nutrients that you put it within yourself. Like you make sure that you have that stability and all those things. So
if I may, Pete, like I think another thing I learned definitely for sure is to how to take care of equipment, right? I mean, me and you had a very interesting interaction when we was in Columbus, whatever, right? And I'll let you tell that story if you want to, but it's one of those things where it's like, the equipment is part of your instruments, right? And you got to protect your instruments and take care of your instruments, right? But also not just that, but also, being mindful that you got to carry this stuff, and transport it and, build it up, set it all up and break it down and transport it and all this other stuff. And so, and in my, filmmaking journey as I kind of go into the documentarian, lane, if you will, right? There was a lot of stuff I learned that weekend that I implemented myself, moving forward. Like for one, like having certain little, like screwdrivers and stuff like that to make sure that's on hand from time to time because you just never know where that may come in handy. Or make sure you bring your own power source if you can and stuff like that. So it definitely was a learning experience that I could apply even as not a DJ, but I can apply to what I'm doing now.
Gotcha. So I got you. Fair. So let's speak on the storytelling part. Very, very, very crafty and very intellectual way of like telling stories. To my people that haven't, if you've been living up under a rock, I'm saying that very petty. Like, we have the beautiful show Black is America, and if you've ever heard any episode, it's well put together from top to bottom. The research is there, the references is there. You're gonna leave learning something. But the power, one of the powers that I see that my brother Dom has is the ability to tell us a story. Like the ability to tell a story is such a treat. And I feel like that translates perfectly over to the film aspect of it. Do you agree, or do you see that in yourself?
I definitely hope so. I think the interesting thing is, it's like, I think people have this idea that it was going to be a hard transition, and it really wasn't, right? From podcasting to film. And mainly because one of the reasons people like Black is America or anything else that I've done is because they like the storytelling. Well, so a lot of the scripts were kind of written cinematically anyway. They're written how I see them in my head. So it's like I'm writing them cinematically with adjectives to kind of describe things and stuff like that. And so honestly, when it transfers over to film, I'm honestly just putting visually what I was already writing in my head in the first place, right? And so now it's just a matter of learning the cinematography part of it, so that way I can translate what I think I see in my head onto the screen and to the viewer so they can see, right? So it's like I'm thinking about, certain things of like, rules of the rule of thirds and composition and lighting and stuff like that. So that way I'm not just telling this straight on story where everything is kind of this, that, and the other. Like maybe I want to have the camera over to this way somewhere, or maybe I want to have the camera over this way. Now my cameras want to start tracking so I can prove a point. But so it kind of defeats the purpose. But my point is like not everything has to be so on and dress right. So that way I can tell certain stories, like in the background, the foreground, and stuff like that. And so, I think people I wanted to take advantage of that with this film, right? And so you'll see different angles and different type of side views or whatever, and just kind of playing around with composition a little bit uh, to really tell a very unique, dynamic story. So basically, it's not just me telling the story through Krate's words, which is mostly what happens in the film, but it's also trying to help tell that story visually as well, from moving through Columbus, through watching the breakdowns, through some of his sets and stuff like that. And so it really is just the evolution of something I was already doing, if that makes any sense, right? It was just like, this is just visually doing things cinematically as opposed to just writing them cinematically and just kind of putting them on the screen.
Very dope, very dope, very dope, man.
Yeah.
Favorite part of the doc? Do you have a favorite part of the doc? I know that's kind of a interesting question to ask, because I would think that you would enjoy the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole from the process of it or whatever. But yeah, I would like to know if there was a favorite part of the doc that you enjoy doing.
I think honestly, I think the favorite part is honestly at the Cure, the Cure coffee and cocktails spot, right? I think there's a certain level of energy, a certain level of intimacy, and a certain level of connection to watch you and Krate exhibit in that part of the film, and I hopefully I was able to project it out for people to see. There's a few frames, I don't want to give it away, that I'm really proud of, that I kind of really played with that composition, those camera angles a little bit, to where I really think it helps solidify the film. And funny enough, it's in the middle of the film, right? But I like that part, but I also like the honestly, it's not lazy when I'm saying like the entire film. What I mean is moving through the film, right? I think I like the transitions from place to place that we were able to do. I think that was my favorite part, trying to navigate, how to tell these stories from place to place to place to place. Was favorite part. And one of the things I'll say this, and I've never said this publicly or to y'all before. There was a lot of pressure to do this film, right? And it's mainly because, especially now that it feels like, thanks to the great Al Pete doing some promotion, it seems like there's a little bit of buzz for the film that I'm definitely appreciative of. But there's a lot of pressure because, and I say this respectfully, Krate scares me. And what I mean by that is that like Krate is very observational, he's very thorough, he's very intellectual, right? And I don't think every person who is a DJ takes that craft that serious, right? And that's not exclusive to DJing. Like we see it in basketball. I think it was Gilbert Arenas who said that like not every player in the NBA actually that's their love. Like not everybody's Kobe, right? Where like they can eat, breathe, sleep basketball. Like and I think Gilbert said like 60%, 7% of players like basketball is not their number one priority. It's a job, right? And so when it comes to this craft, and let me be clear, you and Krate are multi hyphenates. You're more than just DJs, but I'm only specifically talking about this aspect of your life, right? Like he scares me to the standpoint of like, I have to get this right. Like there's a part in the doc where he talks about how he likes and appreciates when people can just do their job and he doesn't have to like
he don't have to be the admin and then turn it to
he
the
doesn't have to
creator.
be the admin, this, that, and the other, right? And so it was the greatest compliment to me when he talked with you before, when he was saying that like he appreciated that he didn't have to like, help set up whatever or help with the cinematography, that he could just be him.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted that for him. But also at the same time, if I'm being honest and if I'm being selfish, I think that was the only way we're going to get the best story possible. Like if he's over here helping me with cinematography or whatever, then, I don't think we would have got the Krate that we actually got, right? Like, no, I mean, there was a part, it was kind of a funny thing that I put in the film where he made a request, right? And that request was honored. But I don't think that was really him like being part of the process. I think it was more so him just having a request like, hey, can you do me this solid or whatever, this, that, and the other. But nah, man, Krate scares the hell out of me, only from the standpoint of like, and like I said, I mean it respectfully, right?
No,
only from the standpoint of like, he is so meticulous at what he does, right? And it's like, you don't want to be the one that drops the ball.
Sure.
Right? Now, he's not going to, unless you're an idiot or somebody who's just woefully negligent or whatever, he's not going to chastise you or anything like that. Right? But it's one of those things where he takes this very serious and you don't want to be the one that drops the ball. I remember it came up when we did the tour show, right? We were trying to navigate and I'm already nervous as hell anyway, because I think I got that assignment that morning. So I'm like, oh, fuck. What am I going to do? Like, well, okay. But we was doing the tour show and I think me and you were trying to figure something out coming down the stairs. And there was he said something, there was a certain tone and I just like snapped too. It was like, shit. Okay. All right. I think we got it. Right. And he wasn't being mean. He wasn't being a jerk or anything, but you could hear the level of seriousness in what he was talking about and what he was trying to convey. He also could have just been tired as hell, was trying to move on to the next thing. That's totally and perfectly fine too. But it's one of those things where I have watched him, I have listened to him over the past couple of years. I know how serious he takes that. And so at the very least, I need to match that level in my own level of zone. I think what does Square call it? Zone of interest, zone of excellence, or something like that. I need to level up and match that zone of excellence for what I do to match his zone of excellence for what he does. Right. And so that's another one of those reasons why I wanted to do this doc, even if it was just for that challenge, right? Because I know just that quote unquote boogeyman is going to make me step up to the challenge and tell the best story I can with the Krate Doc.
I got you. So you're welcoming to the you say challenge, but I'm thinking more like responsibility.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Because it's like, again, there's a high level of respect for what everybody in the Ummah does. And, and this same feeling has happened in the C4 also as well. It's like, I don't want to be the one that drops the ball. Me being the one that drops the ball scares the crap out of me. And so it's like, I need to make sure that I am doing whatever I need to do to make sure I don't drop my part of the thing.
For sure.
It happened with the tour show. It happened with the Krate Doc. It's going to happen with something else in the future. But it's honestly out of a level of love and respect for what y'all do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it's like, I know I need to step up and do what I can to make sure y'all shine in what y'all do as well. If that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. The challenge or the responsibility to, who in my mind, I feel like that's tomato. Like I feel like it's a
for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that, yeah. And I definitely get that from you. Like, I wanted to ask about that, about the responsibility that you feel like that you have, but you explained it thoroughly with you being scared. Now, that is interesting though, because when it comes to the Krate situation, I would have to say as well, I remember at the beginnings of when I met Krate, when we all met each other, whatever, like the intimidation was definitely there. But I'm more comfortable with it now because it's just the excellence that we have that matches all of it. So it's like when we show up, we show up. And I feel like all of us have like this, like undenying like grace for each other to be able to, to be like, okay, well, if you drop the ball, so to say, we will be receptive of it. Like we'll be like, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We'll make it work and we're gonna be great with it.
No, 100%, right? Like, and again, Krate and you and Square, there's never been nothing but sincerity and niceness and this, that, and the other. But like I said, it really is just from a standpoint of like, there's a level of respect for you as people. Let me be very clear, but there's also a level of respect for what you do in your craft. And I'm just like, no, I can't drop the ball. Which is why I need that Batman level of time to prepare,
right,
to make sure that like I do what I can do. That's why I got nervous during the tour show, right? Because like, fuck, I didn't plan nothing. This just happened this morning. All right, Dom.
let's get to it.
Let's figure this out. And like I said, and so there was a lot of nerves and stuff like that came out during the tour show. And it probably was seen by everybody, which is totally fine. But it was honestly just from a place of like, I cannot drop the ball. I cannot drop the ball. I cannot make them look stupid out here. I cannot drop the ball. So, yeah.
I got you, man. Well, listen, you're doing the damn thing. You're doing the damn thing, and your the brothers got to support you, and we trust you in the work that you're doing, and
appreciate that.
Yeah, and then the audience is going to appreciate it as well. So, real quick, I'm gonna reset the room, and then I ask my last question. But the Neighbor's Way, Mr. LP from the Mighty MPN Network. We are here interviewing Dominic Lawson on his new documentary, the Krate Doc, a Dominic Lawson cut. So it's going to be released on Thursday, August 13th, 8 a.m. on the Ummah Creative Group YouTube page and all the other pages. So hopefully you check that thing out. The question that I had, and it's slipping my brain. Please don't slip. What do you want the audience to take away from this? From a story perspective or even from a directorial? What do you want the audience to take away from this documentary when they watch it?
I think the main thing I want people to take away is this, that like the people that you bring into your wedding venue, birthday party, club, or whatever the case may be, these people work their ass off. Like they work their ass off. And I feel like there's not a level of respect that should be given to that. Right. Krate talks about in the doc about like, people forget that like I'm coming to bring value to the thing you're doing. Right. And so it's like there needs to be a healthy level of respect in the form of monetarily, in the form of, setting me up for success, in the form of not getting into confrontations, in the form of not asking for fucking requests.
Word.
Because like even that part, right? Like, and that's, that comes up briefly in the doc, but it's something that I've known for years. Like the level of psychology and pre-planning that goes into this craft is just mind-boggling to me, right? It's really something that's, I think, maybe, in my humble opinion, the most underrated part of what a DJ does.
Mm-hmm.
To read a room and see that like they're feeling you, great. You keep doing what you're doing. But or maybe, they're not really jumping the way you want to jump. And so now you need to switch what the original plan was to something else. So that way you can kind of get the ball moving. Or maybe something you thought was going to work didn't work. And now you got to shift from there. Like that level of thinking on your feet and switching at the drop of a hat is not something to be discounted. Like being a DJ is not a mindless thing by no means. It's a very complicated intellectual craft that like not everybody can do, and not everybody is equipped to do it, right? And so I think that's what I want people to understand when they come from the doc. And also, again, just how much hard fucking work it is, because it's a lot of work. Like I was tired just watching, with a camera, right? But I think it is just honestly just to provide a healthy level of respect for the craft and what people like you and Krate do.
Indeed. Well, we appreciate it because being in petty Pete mode, we feel like nobody understands what nobody knows the trouble we see.
The Krate Doc is an advocacy film. How about that? It's an advocacy film. It's an advocacy film, so people can understand. Like, nah, man, these guys and gals be out here doing some serious work. Some serious work.
Indeed. Well, we definitely appreciate it. Anything coming up next? I mean, I know the stuff you got coming up next, but let the people know what you got coming up next. Anything that you would like to share, or anything in the horizons that we should be looking for?
Sure thing. Definitely have quite a few films kind of in the can a little bit. Before the Krate Doc, I had just released Beyond 4, which was about a Paralympian who was trying to break the sub 4 mile. If he would have done it, he would have became the first legally blind person to run a sub 4 mile. So I believe I captured on film his very first attempt. So I feel like, when he actually does do it, because he's going to do it, I feel like NBC is somebody going to use my footage, and we need to have a conversation about that.
Right.
So
call
that's
the lawyers.
Neither here nor
call the
right.
lawyers. Call the lawyers.
There's neither here nor there. But as far as upcoming, I'm definitely working on a bodybuilder doc that I've been working on for the past couple of months. This, that, and the other. He just finished up 2 competitions. And so we're going to be checking back in with him shortly. There's definitely my doc that I may be having a distribution partner here soon, or fingers crossed, with the local news media here in Memphis. But it's about here in Memphis, the Tennessee redistricting, where some of the congressional districts have been kind of drawn here in the city of Memphis. And so what in the city of Memphis used to have just one congressional district is now kind of split into three. And so going through that map and stuff like that. There's also one where I'm not at liberty to talk about at the moment. But all I'll say is it has been the state of Arkansas a lot, and I'll just leave it at that. So quite a few things in the can. Definitely some ideas that I want to get out there and stuff like that. But honestly, man, I think in general, I'm just enjoying this new season of creation for me. When I was blessed to win podcaster of the year late last year, it kind of felt like the end of a chapter, right? You know, and I think I've shared this publicly. Like podcasting, in a certain sense, kind of lost. I lost some of the challenge there. Like, it was just kind of rinse and repeat. Like I could just make a episode of Black is America with my eyes closed, and I'll at least get like a signal award or something, easy work, right? And so in this new season of creation and going over to film, there's been a reignited sense of creativity, a reignited sense of purpose. And I'm just enjoying the ride. And honestly, I guess I was the last one to see it. I guess it was just the next evolution of my storytelling, if you will. And believe it or not, there's been a few gigs. We was talking off air a little bit that is actually related to podcasting that has come through with, again, not at liberty to say who that is on publicly, but I'll just say a well-known international media company. Just did some work for them just today. And then going to be working with another international media company here later this month on a podcast I'm not at liberty to talk about as well. But it's just funny, and I'll land my plane here. It's just funny how when you lean into the creativity, and as my really good friend Al Pete would say, reward experimentation, right? How certain doors begin to open up. And so I think I just been, on that experimentation tip and just trying things. And no, I didn't go to film school, but now I have, soon to be 7 short films out. And that's not something to scoff at. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Listen, 7. That was I meant to ask that question earlier in the interview. 7 of them. 7 within
7.
Within what, a year?
Yeah, within a year.
The average is pretty good, sir.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on
it. Nah, you're doing a great job, man. I just love to see it coming, man. We've been riding with you, when we first met, you was, Black as America, and you were just knocking them out the park, and just all the accolades that you've been doing, that you've just been crushing. And so to see you in this space, in the film space, has just been, again, like I said earlier, just been very inspiring. And you are definitely a definition of like rewarding experimentation. Like, and you got the people around you to allow you to do that. It's like the best thing ever. So I honor it and I appreciate it. And I'm definitely looking forward to like more all the other stuff that I know that your mind is like full of stuff that you want to do. And I know with the time when they come out, it's going to be crazy. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's funny because I was actually going to do another type of documentary before the Tennessee redistricting happened. I was actually going to do something else. But when that happened, it just kind of pushed that over to the side for now. It was like, no, I got to do this right now. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, listen, brother, I appreciate you so much. I am, did we give any spoilers? I don't think we gave any spoilers.
I don't think no major spoilers. I don't think.
Yeah, but nevertheless, I am ready to watch it. I'm ready to watch it with the audience, and I want the audience to see the light that you've been shining in, and specifically in the community that we're in. You know what I'm saying, and as well as everybody outside of it. But I'm just looking forward to seeing what people are going to say Definitely looking forward to seeing my brother Krate being shined, like how, being shined in that light. And just everybody around it, man. I just love the fact that, we around here just knocking shit out, man. So I'm thankful for it. So I'm ready just to see the Krate Doc and just praise it and just get out there to the world, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Let them know where they can find you at before we get out of here.
Man, you honestly just make it real simple. The real Dominic Lawson on Instagram. Pretty much everything I do kind of filters through there and just kind of spreads out to other places. You can also find the film this week on the Ummah Creative Group YouTube page. It'll also be on the Owls Media page as well. But everything for the most part you can find on IG. The real Dominic Lawson.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. All right, hold tight, sir. We'll close this thing out real quick. All right, my people, listen. Another dominant pun, no pun intended. That's me being a rapper guy. But Dominic Lawson, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed this interview. Please make sure you go and check out his work. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. The way that he documents a lot of stuff is just beautiful, man. So if you want to just check that out before the documentary comes out, that'd be great. But in the meantime, Thursday, April 13th, the documentary drops 8 a.m. So we want you to go and support it. Share it. And I just pray that you learn some great things from it, as well as like just enjoying like a very good like storytelling aspect. So we appreciate my brother Dominic Lawson being in the building. All right. So make sure you subscribe to all the channels, everything. Subscribe to it, okay? We greatly appreciate everybody, the love that they've been giving. I'm just very, very thankful for it. It's all gratitude and thankfulness over here. So with that being said, I am out of here. Be good to yourselves and be good to others. Mr. Alpete signing off to the top.